Ladies and gentlemen, the road to 1,000 subscribers begins tonight, and it goes through Bremen, Ohio, and the Backyard Havoc. What could I be talking about? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if there's a hint in front of you, it's our guest, because our guest is going to be a huge part of the Backyard Havoc, which is going to take place November 9th to November 10th, 2 months from tomorrow. We'll talk about that. Plus, we'll also talk about our guest journey, because even though he's been here technically before on Sportswire Radio, he's actually making his first official appearance here on Sportswire Radio. And I thought, as a throwback, since our guest is also now a part of XCW, I would wear my Jack Delta XCW shirt, which I'm probably like the only person in the world that owns a Jack Delta XCW shirt, because that is ages ago. But we'll talk about XCW because our guest was a huge part of the historic Summer Mania show, and he actually wrestled the new XCW Tag Team Champions, and he wrestled the previous XCW Tag Team Champions. We'll definitely try to be kind and rewind a little bit in that, but we'll also talk about his home promotion, where he looked like he was going to leave his promotion, but he's back in his promotion. We're going to talk about what's ahead, because we got some big shows there. And we're going to talk about what is going on in All Legendary Wrestling, a company that he helped build, you might want to say. And we'll talk about some usual suspects here on this platform that always get mentioned here. And we'll also talk about maybe a few familiar faces that are at the Backyard Havoc. And I might ask our guest his opinions on some of those things. I don't know, this whole thing about Darkron and Judas, and talking about, is there a battle of Ohio right now between DKW and ALW, and what does he think about that? Plus, who knows, whatever else. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to have our guest here tonight. He is definitely one that we were supposed to have had already, but I promise you, this is going to be worth it. In prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters. And after all, if we're in the state of Ohio, we definitely want to forget the Browns' performance. We're going to definitely forget that here and some by bringing on our guest here, who has certainly done it all in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. It's time to give him, though, that introduction that a few of his colleagues in ALW especially have gotten, like Trey Mysticality, Big Man Cam. Is he alive? And that guy Judas, the evil angel, who seems to be the evil angel of the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, but he's the Holden one, and he is the hollowed one. So let's be able to give him that introduction and to kick off that road to 1,000 subscribers right now. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, Sports Show, a man that calls many promotions home. Most notably, you've seen in promotions such as ALW, All Legendary Wrestling. Now, one of the newest members of XCW and the premier tag team, Be Kind Rewind. He's going to be a huge staple in the upcoming historic Backyard Havoc, which seems to reimagine the backyard wrestling super shows we see now in the fall. His name is, simply put, the one. Then My friend, how you doing tonight?
Doing really good. Really great.
I'm glad to hear. It's good to see you, and it's nice to finally sort of officially meet you. We've met. You came on here once before when we had an ALW segment with Judas, and that whole dived into a whole litany of things. We'll definitely, I'm sure, get into that later on. But obviously, let's talk about current events here first. Let's go. We'll definitely talk about the Backyard Havoc because I got a lot to say on the Backyard Havoc, and I want to get your perspective on it because the Backyard Havoc is basically going to reimagine the super shows that we see now in the fall. It's going to change the game. We're going to get your maybe thoughts on this whole thing about young versus old and guys that are fighting from the ground or in the trampoline to in the ring. We'll talk about the Battle of Ohio if it's that. But let's talk about current events here first. XCW, you've recently become a member of the XCW roster. And kind of interesting enough, one of your most recent matches with Halen Wright and Be Kind Rewind was you just wrestled the brand new XCW Tag Team Champions, Evan Phoenix and Onyx. So I have to ask for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, what was it like wrestling on SummerMania and also wrestling the brand new XCW Tag Team Champions?
It was an honor, to be honest. Being on a platform like that and XCW, it's like their prized possession, basically. SummerMania, it's their biggest show of the year. And for me to be on that, it was an honor. And wrestling all those guys, the current champions and the champions before that, I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot from them as well too. And that's what I think that's all about. I mean, learning, to get to the present, the new generation.
Absolutely. No, definitely. And I think XCW, the history of XCW speaks volumes. Chris Jones was here last night, and Chris Jones is a man that has been doing it for 28 years. Justin Parsley, he's always here. We'll definitely, I'm sure, always talk about him. But what do you learn then from some of the veterans that are there in the company? Like, let's say, for example, I'll go with it, Justin Parsley, who we just saw wrestling in Michigan, who we always see in Indiana, and he's wrestled all over the place. So being in a locker room with, let's say, a Justin Parsley, what have you learned from him so far?
I would like to get to talk to him. I haven't really talked to him that much.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't.
We'll call him on Sportswire. We'll get him over here right now for a chat. I'm actually one of his employers, so if he's not talking to you in the locker room, you just message me, and I'll make sure he's here.
I'm trying to get like a good example of this. My partner Halen Wright. I mean, he's been around for quite a while.
And Cam's obviously been in XCW. I mean, I'm sure I'll get to him later because I don't want to just talk about him just yet. I want to make him wait because his last appearance on a podcast was Silver Wolf's one, and he did a stream on his Instagram, but it actually got disconnected. He was, I guess, maybe talking too loud. But I'll save him for later. But at the very least, then. You were been in the ring with Brogan O'Shea. Brogan O'Shea, who's obviously a huge part of the main event and what we saw at Fatal Fallout. He was one half of the tag team champions. Brogan's obviously been very instrumental in XCW success. What about a Brogan O'Shea as an example?
Brogan O'Shea. Oh man.
I've had him on a few times. I've interviewed Brogan. I like Brogan a lot, actually.
He's a really good guy. I mean, he's showed me the ropes. The first time getting in a ring. He showed me a lot. He basically kind of like took me under his wing. Not really, but he's helped me out. Quite a lot. So a lot of other guys there too. That have been there for an XW for since the beginning, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys there that have been there a long time, and obviously Brogan's become instrumental in that. I wanted to very quickly. I'll put the matchup on the screen from SummerMania. We'll talk about it for a few minutes, then we'll obviously go into some other stuff. In certainly ALW and also for sure in the Backyard Havoc because I'm chomping at the bit to talk about it. Because I actually haven't talked about that officially here on Sportswire Radio in a number of days. But Julian Voigt Jacobs actually put his ring boots into the ring and his future is kind of unclear. Yeah. He was the EBW champion. I had Julian here about a month and a half ago. He was inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Really had an emotional story, a veteran guy, kind of one of those guys leads by example. I was curious what your thoughts were on that, if Julian Voigt Jacobs is done and what his future was. And just in the short time you might have worked with a Julian Voigt Jacobs, what did he mean?
I don't know much about the guy. I just know that, I know he has a family and, and that in my eyes, I mean, he's trying to take care of them and,
sure.
And, work and all that, I mean, gets in the way sometimes. I get it.
It's hard. It's not easy, to make
Yeah.
the travel, to make the commitment. And, Void's been doing it for a long time to XCW. And what an emotional story it was for him. He hadn't been a champion in years, and he finally wins the EBW championship. He was the XCW champion once upon a time, but obviously his career for now comes to a halt, and we are very much looking forward to the future of him. So, interesting quirk, though, that you wrestled the last two XCW tag team champions. Kind of a quirk. I mean, what if you guys would have won the match? I might be talking to you with gold and an XCW tag team championship with you and Halen Wright. Maybe that would be the whole. Maybe we're promoting you at the Backyard Havoc solely, but that's kind of an interesting quirk there, that you've wrestled in a span of about a month the most recent XCW tag team champions. It's kind of a clever note there for a guy that's only been in XCW for a matter of 2 months, about 2.5 months. You've been in XCW,
Yep,
something
just
like that.
about. Just
It's
about.
kind of a clever. It's kind of clever there, almost.
Yeah.
Does that mean something to you for your career to say, you know what, I can do this. I can go out there and I can hang, and I put on some really good performances with, again, the most recent XCW tag team champions. Does that kind of give you a little bit of a boost going into whatever?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I just want to show them what I can do and how well I can do it. Me and my partner too. I mean, I think we're a really good tag team, and
I agree with that.
I just want to see how long we can do it for.
Well, we're going to find out. I did want to ask you before I put the match on. So what is your tag team partner, Halen Wright, been like so far, working with him? Be Kind Rewind is the tag team name. What has it been like working with him so far?
Oh, it's been a thrill, man. It's been a thrill. We've been just talking, ideas have been flowing, what we can do with our movesets, put them together. Yeah, just, chatting up with him it's great. He's a good guy. I mean, I got to learn a lot from him as well. And, it's just a lot. We've been together in XCW for a while now. So
does it make it that much important that you're with somebody that you're basically starting out with? I know there are some other guys from ALW that have been a part of XCW. Certainly Trey Mysticality. I'm going to save him in a little while, because I know there's some, things you might want to say about them, but Big Man Cam, everybody knows in the Backyard circuit. Big Man Cam is a well-established figure, but in a way, you and Halen, maybe it means more that you really started out with him because of just maybe the identity or bond that you guys have, in that you're starting out together going into your careers in XCW. What's your thoughts on some of that?
With XCW, it's interesting because, like, going with Halen Wright, our attires or whatever, like how we dress, and it's totally different from me and him. It's and I think it's interesting in the fact that we're a tag team, and and we're just so different, and how we click so well. I think it's really interesting.
What makes it so different from who you are?
I think we're the same. Like we're the same people. Like we bond on a lot of things, and we talk about the same topics all the time. I mean, when we're on the road.
I see the Bob Seger in the background there. Interesting.
Yeah. It's a pretty good album.
Yeah, you know what? Bob Seger, I think he did the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack. That's why I do remember. I think he did Shakedown, so that was kind of good. You should come out to that. But it's good to bond. I always think it's good to bond with somebody when you're starting out in something, because it gives an icebreaker. Because, it would be awkward if you're teaming or going on the road with somebody and like nothing with them, or you have nothing in common. So I think that's got to be good, at least that you and him have some of the same interest, where it doesn't make it awkward that you're together and such.
Right.
Well, that's important. I mean, those are things that we obviously want to see. So talk to me about your opponents here a little bit. Onyx and Evan Phoenix. These are interesting guys. They're the new tag team champions. They have had, I want to say, an interesting history in XCW. They've been in the company. They've had various levels of success. And talk to me about your opponents here.
Ooh, where do I get to start off with this? Evan Phoenix and Onyx, right?
Yes.
So, man, they're a really good tag team. I know they have like their differences in the ring.
Yes, we saw that in this match play out. I mean, Blackheart was yelling about it throughout the telecast.
Yeah, I know that they have their differences, and I think that's what could potentially be the end of their reign. I could see it later down the road. I can see that most definitely. And me and Halen, we don't have that at all. I think that's what makes us a strong tag team.
How have you liked the adjustment of going into tag team wrestling? Obviously, in ALW, you've been a singles guy, but how have you liked the adjustment in tag team wrestling so far?
It's definitely different. I mean, the psychology of it, it's just totally different. I mean, you got two other people on the other side, and you just gotta. For me, it's like waiting for an opportunity to strike at the best
Waiting
moment.
for the punchline, even
Yep.
someone said, waiting for the punchline. It's one of my favorite Extreme albums, but I'm not going to ask you about Extreme. But that's obviously a good thing. I had asked Brogan this question because Brogan O'Shea had been a well-known singles guy. He had a lot of success. And I asked him about the adjustment and how was it, because he was a guy that really wasn't known to be a tag guy. And he's obviously made that adjustment up until Fatal Fallout, winning the titles. But it seems like for you, it's maybe a seamless transition. Maybe it's also because your ring experience might not be as much as Brogan's.
Right.
So you're able to make the adjustment or adapt a little bit better because you're basically, again, still relatively speaking, compared to most in XCW, a newer talent.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I just think that's the beauty of it is just adapting over time and just trying to be better.
And it's always got to help that you actually get to just wrestle in a t-shirt and jeans, right?
Yeah, that's easy. I mean,
Yeah, I would certainly want to be who you are, but obviously we're seeing some of the match here, and we did see some dissension between the two of them. Maybe you have a point that was talked about during the telecast that they do have kind of a different style. And do you feel like that you and Halen, because you've just wrestled now the Outliers, and now you've wrestled Solidified Ashes with Onyx and Evan Phoenix, that you guys could still very much end up maybe at the top of the tag team division? Because we know, obviously, with the real ones, I'm not going to ask you about Slater and Parsley. I don't know what their future is. It's been up and down. And you look at the tag team division now in XCW, and which famously has had some of the, I would say, of all the promotions, maybe one of the deepest tag promotions. And yet, right now, there's maybe not so much depth. Obviously, there's been issues with EBW is no longer. Again, the real ones, I don't know what the future of the real ones is going forward for tag belts. They held the tag belts for the end of last year and into the first half of this year, going into the 21st season. The Outliers held the belts, and we know Fletch is injured. So I guess then you guys still got to feel like you've got a fighting chance to maybe get these tag belts here down the road.
oh, for sure. I can see us having the belts around our waist here soon. I most definitely can see that. Another thing is,
Mm-hmm.
with all these tag teams coming in and out of XCW, I mean, there will be new ones, later down the road or here soon. And we just got to, try our best to be the best.
That's what you're going to wind up doing. And also, XCW recently passed last night during our stream with Chris Jones 1,600 subscribers. So, Sportswire once again delivers for the backyard and underground wrestling circuits, promotions such as XCW, as XCW has reached 1,600 subscribers. If you want to watch Fatal Fallout, Summer Mania, all the great shows, you can do that here also through the XCW YouTube page. And we are here with the Hollowed One, Holden Holloway, of All Legendary Wrestling. And also, he is a part of the Backyard Havoc. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, and I want to wish a happy birthday. I got a couple of happy birthdays I got to go wish off here. First of all, let me give a happy birthday to Nolan Money McDermott. Let me give a happy birthday to him. Obviously, want to wish him a very happy birthday. I can't thank him enough for his support and everything else in between. So we want to wish him a very, very happy birthday. Hope that he has a great day, and we look forward to seeing more of him in the future. And also here, I want to wish a happy birthday to our friend Steven Solanke. Steven's birthday was this recent week. Happy birthday, Steve. Hope you had a good day. And Nolan Money McDermott, your birthday is important because you're back on Sportswire Radio pushing this thing called the Backyard Brawl, which is in another part of the Midwest, but that's a different story, but we'll certainly get to that. But again, happy birthday to our friend Nolan Money McDermott. He is a part of Small Town Backyard Wrestling, in some ways similar to our friends in All Legendary Wrestling. So we hope that you have a great day and enjoy, but we're watching a little bit more of the match here. And Festus has to be the oldest referee in like wrestling history, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's up there.
He's definitely up there. Is he collecting AARP yet? But we see the match here is about to obviously unfold here soon. And despite Evan Phoenix and his injury, he is battling and definitely battling the heat there because the heat was intense.
Oh,
I was speaking to Chris Jones about it. I don't know how you wrestled actually in jeans and a t-shirt.
I think I'm just kind of used to it, by now.
Mm-hmm. Used to, but
I've
that
been,
ring has got to be a lot hotter than the ground in ALW, I would imagine.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like and right here, it's probably at least 100 out.
We were speaking with Chris Jones about it, and I was like, how hot was it? And he was like, so hot that I needed water, and I didn't get the water until after the match. When I got the water, I just chugged it all down, and obviously that's what's needed. And how do you stay hydrated then in a situation like this?
I try to usually hydrate before the match. Like I drink a couple bottled waters, and right after the match, I'm dousing myself in water all the time. All the time.
Well, you won't have that problem in the Backyard Havoc.
I'm just glad we weren't wrestling. I'm just glad we weren't wrestling in the gymnasium.
Really? So you're not a fan of the St. Paul's gym?
It's very humid in there. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I guess I would be conversely. Maybe it's too hot there when they did encounters. So a lot of guys on this platform worked the encounters tapings. It was Aaron Blaze was there at the time, Jack Delta, Omen Black and Soldier GP, Jacob Collins. I'm sure actually people you're going to probably meet if you haven't already. Well, I know you've met Jacob Collins with Big Man Cam. I mean, and he's got good reason, by the way, to hate Jacob Collins because Jacob Collins didn't even show up to his own career-threatening match. But I guess maybe that it does work that way. In the summer, it's too brutal, but then in the wintertime, maybe it's, I don't know, too stuffy. But so you prefer then wrestling in the old home of XCW rather than the St. Paul's gym?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But if I have to wrestle in there, yeah, I have to wrestle in there. It's my job.
What are your goals in XCW? What are your goals in XCW?
Right now, I just want to show everyone what I'm made of, and eventually, if things don't work out in the tag team, I can go into a different division and show who I can be better. I can adapt.
Is there anybody in XCW that you'd like a chance to wrestle?
I'd like to wrestle Hunter Halkin. I think
everybody wants to wrestle him. Everybody, even outside of XCW, wants to wrestle Hunter Halkin.
Yeah, that's a dream of mine. I would love to wrestle Hunter Halkin.
What makes him such a good wrestler from your vantage point?
Man, he is such a great wrestler. Just what he does in the ring just amazes me. It really does. It's like every single time I watch him wrestle, it feels big. It feels like a big fight feel,
Yeah, he's got that certain, I guess, for our circuit, Bryan Danielson vibe.
Yeah.
Everybody's dreams about Will Ospreay right now. And there's certain wrestlers that have a certain mystique about them and their ring abilities. And I think that's what brings them. Gunther is another one right now that people obviously dream about. And Evan Phoenix is certainly, he's doing his best and he's fighting. And you guys weren't able to capitalize on this.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I was down and out and didn't know where I quite was. I mean, I got knocked down pretty hard right here, and I, feel bad for Halen right here. You hate to see it.
You're going to try, but it's just not going to, unfortunately, in time, it's not going to work.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Yeah, it's tough. You guys are a young team. We're going to move on to some other non-XCW stuff in a few minutes. We're here with the Holden Holloway. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. And I want to thank everybody, by the way, that helped Sportzwire Radio get over 900 subscribers. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Sports almost at 1,000. I'm on this road to 1,000. I get a tattoo, and they roast me with 1,000 subscribers. Maybe you'll be the one to roast me when I get to 1,000 subscribers. It'll be like the Tom Brady Netflix special. I don't think I'll get Nikki Glaser, though, in a dress with her long legs. But I'll take, obviously, everybody that's been so supportive and helping Sportswire Radio get to 1,000 subscribers. And I am very much appreciative that we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers here. And Big Man Cam was in the chat. We'll get to him later. But I know the experience isn't there yet. But having these title matches, what do you learn from them so next time it's a different outcome?
I try to learn from my mistakes, from losing, especially in a match like this. It's very disappointing, to say the least, when you lose, of course, but you try to bounce back from that and see what you can learn from, learn from your mistakes. And I think that's a big part, of winning, especially gold.
Absolutely. Listen, winning gold. I mean, but I will give you this advice, and I don't like to give too much advice because I know nothing about wrestling. I know absolutely zero about it. But my advice before we transition to some more friendlier terrain, I tend to think, is that we had on a wrestler a couple of weeks ago, another promotion in the state of Maryland, not too far from you guys, and his name is Big Tex. And basically, he's had so many championship matches that he would make the Buffalo Bills not look like chokers. He's had about 6 championship matches for like 5 different belts. It's actually 7, counting a Holy Grail gauntlet match, and he's going 0 for all of them. So at the very least, 0 for 2, nothing to be ashamed of. But when you get to 0 for 4, 0 for 5, just think about Big Tex, because this guy's had world title shots, other title shots in his company, and obviously, at the end of the day, he's on a failure tour. But we know you're not on a failure tour. But, okay, so we got some of that out of the way. I think XCW, you'll do some big things. We're excited to see what you do there. We'll have more XCW coverage, I'm sure, no doubt, very soon. But I want to talk about a company now, before I get into the Backyard Havoc, that I think a lot of people are starting to take notice to, and that is All Legendary Wrestling. And Holden Holloway. I mean, we know you have a match that's going to air eventually on the ALW YouTube page, but most recently you came back in that Golden Gauntlet, and I was wondering a little bit about that, and let's start there for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire, because I do know that you have a big match coming up. You have a big match coming up. Well, it probably took place by now, but we know that it's going to be an Iron Man match. We'll set the tables for that first. I'm going to put it on the screen for our friends in ALW. So we're going to go like this right here. So we're going to talk about this first because it kind of leads into where I'm going to go next. But Nightmare on David Street, 30-minute Iron Man match. You might have wrestled against the now XCW Tag Team Champions, but we're going to see you eventually on the ALW YouTube page in a 30-minute Iron Man match. What can we expect from you, Holden Holloway?
Oh, a lot of blood.
Lots of blood. And this is real blood, not like ketchup packets, not like, the blood from my art class in high school and college where my professor would ask me to buy some art materials and I would look like it's blood, but it's really not. So this is going to be real blood then.
Yeah, a lot of hurting too. A lot of hurting.
A lot of hurt. Well, you guys definitely hurt each other on that ALW arena there, but you've obviously come back. And I guess, why did you decide to come back again?
I just didn't like the direction ALW was going. I feel like they needed me. I really did. I feel like they needed me, and I felt like I was a little ashamed of leaving at right after I made the choice to leave, because I want to expand my wings, go different places. But I mean, I realize ALW is my home, and
it is your home. I mean, it's great to see you in XCW, but there's like 300 people in the XCW roster. ALW is the company that made Holden Holloway become the Holland one. So, I mean, do you have regrets originally about saying you were going to leave?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I just didn't like the direction that ALW was going. And then when I was gone, it was just getting worse. And, I talked to the ALW board of directors, and I asked to come back, and they agreed, and we made it happen.
Well, I guess then that sort of puts you on the same page as this guy, the Evil Angel Judas, who is a man. That's where I first sort of met you before, and that's kind of what Judas has been saying. And we spoke a lot about that. We spoke about his war with the likes of Justin and obviously some others like Trey Mysticality and certainly Big Man Cam. But that would put you then philosophically on the same side then as the Evil Angel Judas.
Me and Judas, we have history. I mean, I respect him a lot. I really do. He's really good.
Listen, he is probably right now the best talker in the backyard in the underground. You know how I know this? Because yesterday on the stream, no less, of Big Man Cam, who obviously he's ashamed to come back to Sportswire because his last appearance was on Silverwolf's show. and he knows obviously that's his new home to do his streams. He did his own stream on Instagram, and Joshua Allen, get this, the Tennessee Backyard Wrestling owner, the legendary Joshua Allen, two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer, by the way, a company that has almost 8,000 subscribers. He said in his words that Judas right now is one of the best talkers in backyard wrestling. He's heard him, and he couldn't believe how good he was. So there's no question that Judas, I mean, he's got some kick right now. He's got some pizzazz, and I would probably want to be aligned with him too right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, me and Judas, I mean, I wrestled him last year in a career-threatening match for the ALW Championship. And this
but you
was
showed up in this one, unlike the guy, Jacob Collins, who's supposed to be in the Backyard Havoc. Let's hope that Jacob Collins shows up, by the way, for the Backyard Havoc. So maybe we'll have to book whoever wrestles him against God just in case. Just saying out there. Just saying.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But like me and Judas, I mean, man, me and him, we have history, and I really do respect him. And, you know, I mean, maybe, you know, we might cross paths, you know, later. But, yeah, what happened last year with me and him, it was magic, to say the least. It was magic.
What makes him then mad? What give you that magic? And what does he do that makes that for you?
Like earlier, like with Hunter Halkin, I mean, it feels like a big match feel, you know, it really does. Like, and with my career being on the line from, you know, last year, and he was the champion. That's, to me, that feels like a big match feel, you know.
There's something about Judas in the way that he conducts himself that makes him somebody you want to drop all your stuff and watch. You know, I'll certainly come back to this in the Golden Gauntlet, but I have on a lot of people every day on Sportswire Radio. I'm here all the time, right? And there's very few people that I can honestly say have caught my attention and say, you know what, this guy, you need to drop all your stuff and watch what he says. He doesn't even have to do half of what his mouth does for him out there in the ring because of how he sells himself. He has done a better job in promoting himself than pro wrestlers that I've had on my platform. And that would include people like Tarzan Duran, who just wrestled, Jacob Fatu, Dean Allmark, who wrestled in TNA Impact Wrestling, guys like RP Davis, who's wrestled Anthony Agogo. I mean, there is no question that Judas, and this is no shade on those individuals, but this Judas, this evil angel, this young man, he's done more to market himself than almost anybody I've seen to come on this platform. And I think that's why we're very excited about ALW's future and the Backyard Havoc. And I know that KP Mars is not excited about taking that crutch to the back there.
And KP, I mean, same with Judas. Those two, they bring out the best in me, and I feel like I bring out the best in them. Those are the type of matches that I'm very proud of. I really am. Mm-hmm. Like when you bring out the best in someone, you know it's going to be good. You know, I mean,
you know, and I'm curious on that. When you go into a match like KP Mars or Judas, for example, you know right away going in that you're going to have a good night. Is that a fair statement?
Most of the time, yes. Yeah,
that makes you motivated, right? That makes you motivated
all the time. I'm very motivated with you know, who I'm with, you know, and after the matches, you know, I know that they're good. You know, I know that they're good. I mean, you know, you're going to have your good nights and bad nights. And usually, I mean, most of the time I've had my good nights, but, you know, there have been there's been some rough days.
Everybody has rough days. That's because we're all human. But
yeah,
there's a lot of people in the chat. The chat's starting to wake up, which is good. We appreciate that the chat is here. We'll get to them in a few minutes. But I guess then, does it also help that you're wrestling for your own home promotion? It's basically right in your backyard. You know, when you go into XCW, that's a commute, I imagine. So it's obviously mentally you have to get yourself prepared, and that's obviously a journey. XCW shows historically are known for you have to help early, set up, tear down. It's a day. Being there in the ALW home arena, I mean, You're at home and you got the fans behind you. You got the ALW universe. I mean, XCW might have the galaxy, but in ALW, we have the universe. And there's nothing like the ALW universe in the state of Ohio. I mean, this is really where the fans come. And obviously, we see the fans. And that's also got to help you because you've got true, genuine fans in ALW. You know, XCW has the galaxy, but the galaxy is really on YouTube. It's Galaxy is those who are there watching. You got the fans. You got legitimate fans that are coming here to watch ALW. That's got to fire you up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like when I lost against Justin, you know, when I told everyone that I'm leaving, and they were chanting my name. They were saying thank you, Holden, and yeah, that's another reason why I wanted to come back. You know, I have true fans there, and I just want to give them what they, you know, came to see. You know,
ALW
they take.
Tell it's a special place in AOW. Seeing the fans there. I mean, you guys sign autographs. You guys come out early and greet everybody. I mean, that's special. You know, a lot of companies don't have. TBW. I don't know if TBW has that. I have to ask TBW when Atomic Titans here on Wednesday. But you guys have this special relationship with the fans that really, you know, very few companies may have. Maybe IMF has it because they're, you know, doing underground arena shows, so maybe they would have that. But you guys have people that they want to see you. They're here for ALW.
Oh yeah, they are, and I'm very grateful for them. They take time out of their day to show up there, and they, you know, they call off work some days to, you know, show up, and I'm really grateful for it.
That's why we love ALW on Sportzwire. We love the ALW universe. I can tell you the ALW universe is certainly a universe that we all want to be a part of, and I want everybody right now, you are watching, you got to go hit that sub button for our friends at ALW. Let me tell you why. Because ALW is almost at 150 subscribers. I remember when we first had them on, what were they at? 60 subscribers, 58 subscribers?
Something like that.
Now they're at 135. So I know I got 900 plus subscribers out there. I know I get 200 plus views a day on my YouTube channel. I want you out there. You have not hit that sub button. Hit that sub button for our friends right now. All Legendary Wrestling. They're on Instagram. Check them out there. Holden Holloway's on Instagram. I want everybody to go out there and watch because this is a company that's got a universe like no other, and this universe is here on Sportswire Radio, and they're going to be a huge part of that Backyard Havoc, November 9th and 10th, in beautiful Bremen, Ohio, which we're going to get to. I got to ask you this question. Do you wrestle in the same gear at XCW and ALW? You must have the easiest gear to get into then.
Yeah. I mean, usually I change it up. I have different pants, different shirts. When I wrestled Justin, I had a longer sleeve shirt on that I don't think was the smartest thing to do, but
well, at least you can go into the same attire. I've got so many different attires that I probably really need an entire house to fill them because I've got about, I don't know, 49 or 50, 51 different wrestling shirts at this point, but obviously we see
pretty big closet.
What's that? Well, I don't have a closet, but I make it work. And because, well, I got a lot of money in my pocket, so I can just let people leave me alone. But
there you go.
yeah, well, that God is good. But obviously, that's the ALW logo, and I want people to make sure they support our friends in ALW. And here's how I want you to do that. Now I got a chance. We'll come back to that. But this is the link. I see it now. I got another subscriber, 136. See, 135, 136. So you're out there right now. I see a bunch of you. I got about 20 people watching this right now, 21 people, all Legendary Wrestling. That's their YouTube link. Go out there and watch them. I'm very excited about that. We're going to come back to the Golden Gauntlet. That's going to tie in to the Backyard Havoc shortly. So please go out there and do that. And I think it's a good time now to take some comments because we have some comments. So let me get to the chat. Chat's been waiting to get into the conversation. By the way, Zilla. How about Zilla? Zilla, who a lot of people didn't know was a real person. There was a lot of people, yours truly called her a resident chatter. I think Jack Delta framed it that way. And some people called her a bot, but she's not a bot. She's actually from the great state of Georgia. And I'm sure her vote matters more here than it'll matter in Georgia's upcoming presidential electoral college. But here's Zilla. Zilla here definitely is all wrestling matters. And we got a chance to see Zilla not only on Jack Delta's Instagram stream, we got a chance to see it on Big Man Cam, who's obviously now gone into the world of streaming. Obviously, Big Man Cam has decided that he has seen how successful Sportswire has been and how his good buddy Silverwolf has been doing, that he's decided that he wants to come in and give us competition. He's obviously seen that he can corner the market. He's about 6'17", but he had the good fortune of having Zilla on, and Zilla really watches wrestling. She was talking about all these companies, and she was talking about every little move and match, and she was being asked who her fans are and who her favorites are and her favorite companies, and she knew her stuff. And here I was thinking with somebody else that used to come on and comment on the stream that's a wackadoodle, but that's okay because Zilla's no wackadoodle, because Zilla is really Zilla, and she's definitely somebody that you'll probably see more on Big Man Cam's new episode on Instagram, I'm sure. I'm sure he's live right now on Instagram streaming. But I want to say hello to another man in ALW. You know, he's going to be a part of things, I think, also in the Backyard Havoc, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see him soon. How you doing? Let's go, Holden. CJ Black. Have you met CJ Black yet? I mean, have you met him? No?
I don't think I have. I don't think I have.
Now, have you been invited to ROEW?
I'm probably going to go here next Saturday.
You shouldn't say that on the air. We'll pretend we never heard that. But obviously, we'll say that maybe you'll show up as a fan. You're going to show up as a fan, right? Because ROEW does have a lot of fans. And as a matter of fact, ROEW almost has 1,000 subscribers. And ROEW, when they go to 1,000 subscribers, they're going into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and they're a little bit closer to 1,000 than yours truly. Not by much, actually. They're about 60 or so ahead of us. They're at 963. So we expect ROEW and a number of ROEW members to have 1,000 subscribers, and they'll be here with us to celebrate as they go into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So we're looking forward to seeing our friends in ROEW here maybe in the next week or two. I think they're going to get it. They're at 963, right? 963. Somebody can quote me on that. So they'll probably get to 1,000 in the next week or two, and we'll have a bunch of ROEW roster members, and you're going there as a fan. That's very nice of you going there as a fan. Yes, hello there, Zilla. We certainly now got you in here, and Zilla is a big fan of CJ Black, and this guy here, is that Silverwolf or Big Man Cam? I'm not quite sure. Was that Silverwolf? Hi, hey, it's Zilla's second favorite, Big Man Cam. I'll come for that number one, Justin Parsnips. That's a member of your XCW roster. Want to say hello to my friend, Mr. Hillbilly Tilly from the great state of Alabama. He is the general manager for the Alliance Wrestling League. They're get it? You guys are ALW. They're AWL. Ironic there. Want to say hello to our friends in the Backyard Wrestling Nexus. That's important because tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern time, we are joined with CJ Junt, who's now just the Alpha. And the Alpha is a part of legendary Backyard Wrestling, and he is in the Backyard Wrestling Nexus, and he is here live. So we're going to look forward to that. Excited to have him back. He's back on Sportswire Radio for the first time in about a year. Electrolyte drink in the morning, fellas, and a couple of... Oh, that's the XCW thing. So when you go to XCW and deal with that heat, that's what you drink. But you know what, though? The heat's almost over. I think here in New York, we're going to get hot this week, and maybe we'll get one or two more days after that, and it'll be comfortable for the next month.
Finally.
You know what? I got to be honest. I'm not a fan of the humidity, but I do miss the light out. It's getting darker earlier. That makes me a little depressed, but that's okay. Prime time starts earlier. The St. Paul's gym was very fun for Backfire. It was just very humid was the only negative. It gave an indie show vibe, and I had fun. Yes, that's why I do like the St. Paul's gym, because it gave XCW that vibe that a lot of backyard and underground companies don't get. IMF is one that gets that, and I think that's why I do like the St. Paul's gym, because it gave
I agree with that.
It did give a crowd feeling, which I think XCW, the Galaxy is unbelievable, but the shows in the gym, they mean something. So I do want
it's another level.
Absolutely. Less than 100. I'm coming on here and doing my Tom impression during the roast. Yeah, he'll be here then, but he's boycotting until I get to 1,000, because he wants to show up. Because like I said, he's my competitor now, because he's doing Instagram streams and he's been on Silverwolf show, and maybe I'm talking to Silverwolf. Maybe that's why he's just I got competition now. I mean,
hey, don't worry, Tom. I'll get you to 1,000. I'll get some people.
No, we're going to get to 1,000. I actually had people praying for me, and I actually had people in the streets praying for me to get to 1,000 subscribers. So we're got there. I'm almost there. Listen, I had one of my friends call me earlier this evening, and he said, what have you been up to? I haven't seen you. I said, catch me on YouTube. I said, I'm on Sportswire Radio 6579. And he's like, well, I'm doing stand-up comedy. I'm like, well, You can come and do stand-up comedy on YouTube live. I'm not going to watch you. You can come here and you can do it in front of people. You'll be doing comedy and you won't have anybody you're doing it in front of. Holden Marie Holloway. What's the Marie? Is that your middle name, Marie, or is that somebody else?
I don't know. That's quite interesting. My middle
Marie.
name is Lee.
Lee, okay. All right, Lee. All right. Well, that's because you probably wear Lee jeans when you're out there wrestling. So that would make sense. I mean, I remember those days of Lee jeans. Now I just wear shorts and a t-shirt. As I really do. I wear shorts and a t-shirt almost year round. That's why I look like this. If you face Hunter Halkin, that'll be a quad H match. Yeah, HH versus HH. And have we had one of those in wrestling history before? Does anybody know if we had?
I don't know.
Quad H. That's a good one. It's a good analogy. Maybe somebody should book that. Maybe XCW, somebody can book that on the booking team. Quadruple H. There you go. The evil Angel Judas says. Listen to the crowd during the Golden Gauntlet. Holden Holloway's easily top 2 in ALW. I agree with that. Speaking of people, see, I told you, say his name, he appears. Justin Parsley. Holden holds himself in that ring like he's been at it for a while. There's a veteran aura there. Have you watched wrestling most of your life? And also, who are your inspirations? Very good question. Justin Parsley, the PWF champion, and I'm 1/3 owner of that. There's my employer coming on and doing his due diligence. He should take over. You know, Justin's a podcaster, by the way. He actually has done his own show, and his first ever guest was Chris Jones. Maybe Justin should take over. Yes. So I'm thinking that Justin, not only is he the PWF champion, the only 5-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer, Justin can be the man to take over for me on Sportswire. So when I hit 1,000, maybe Justin will be the roast, and he'll be the one roasting me. He and Big Man Cam can take turns. But great question. Have you watched wrestling most of your life, and who are your inspirations?
I've watched it for most of my life, and I think I take big inspirations from, Taker, Triple H, Shawn, a lot of Rick in there. I take a lot of inspirations from those, and, it's just who I grew up with, seeing who you grew up with, and, that's what I want to be, And
I think 3 wrestlers that have transcended the eras that they started their careers. And you think about Ric Flair. I mean, people will talk about Ric Flair for another 50 years. Undertaker, same thing. And Triple H is, well, he's the guy pretty much running the whole thing. So you can't get any better than that. And they all have one thing in common. They're very good at ring psychology. And they're also very good at telling a story. So I could see why you follow those 3 wrestlers. Very well said. Yes, Scylla. Hi to the inaugural PWF champion, Justin Parsley. Well, he is sort of the inaugural PWF champion, but Jack Delta held that title last year, sort of under a different name, but you can call it what you want. And hello to the evil Angel Judas. And Justin Parsley said, hello, Zilla, because he was on that stream on Instagram. Throw my middle initial in there. Yes, throw his middle initial in there. Justin Parsley with the cross. I think you haven't met, well, you met Mr. Kron. Actually, you technically have met Mr. Kron in the Golden Gauntlet. And I'm going to reserve my fire for him in a little bit. Mr. Kron, unfortunately, came up short in the Prestige Tournament finals there. He did not win the tournament, but had a hell of a match against C-Money, and maybe we'll see those 2 run it back. Who knows? Maybe in the Backyard Havoc. Stay tuned. Hello there to Dark Cryptic Wrestling. Yes, that's the Mr. Darkron. Thank you, Zilla. Zilla, you should take the photo now and take your face picture off because the people have seen you now. So you should actually redo the photo on YouTube. Because Big Man Cam and others saw you already, you should just show your face. People already saw you already. There's nothing to hide. But that's okay. You do what you like. We appreciate your support. Much respect to you, Mr. Holloway. I'd love to run it back with you again, or maybe we can show all Legendary Wrestling who the top guys are together. What do you think?
I would love to do that. I would love to do that. I mean, when you talk about ALW, I mean, you got me and you got me and Judas. I mean, it'd be all legendary. I'll tell you that much.
I'll tell you what, that's why I want people to hit that sub button for us, all Legendary Wrestling on YouTube. I got a lot of people now watching us. I see we got a nice little crowd tonight. Hit the sub button for me. Trust me, it'll be worth it. And ALW fans love Holden. Yes, and Mr. Khan certainly saw that firsthand. And I know that Mr. Khan doesn't love Judas, but I'll get to that. I'm telling you, I'm saving the Backyard Havoc because I'm waiting for the management to be in my ear from the Backyard Havoc to have me throw up a photo or something. ALW is well on the way to being a home to some of the best backyard wrestlers in the state, next to DKW. Love those guys. I'm going to ask you about this thing of is there a war? Is there not a war? Are you guys on the same team? Are you guys like the Browns and Bengals? I'm going to come back to that because I'm going to come back. I got a lot of comments here. Chat's starting to get heated up here. It's good. The crowd's fired up right now. We want that, and we love our ALW universe. There's nothing like the ALW universe, and there's definitely nothing like why we're here on Sportswire Radio Live in prime time, the brightest lights, and the biggest stage. That's why we certainly want to make sure we see them there. And thank you, Mr. Khan. I appreciate that very much. I'm going to get to 1,000. I'm almost there. I already actually, when I announced it on Facebook, I hit 900. I got 2 subscribers off that post alone. I got 2 subscribers. So that means that I got 10 likes on my YouTube post. I never get 10 likes on YouTube. So my Instagram post got the most likes in weeks. Not even Rad Dad and Tarzan Duran got that many likes. So state election boards take notice. As somebody that worked in the New York State Senate and the government for about 3 months, trust me, I know about election boards. But I'm not going to talk about that tonight because I was on a radio station for 7 months and I left that for now. He's here. Thank you. You thought Zilla? Yeah. That we thought that was the. We'll talk about that off the air. Yeah, we're definitely not talking about that wackadoodle. But let's move on here to some dandy doodles here in Zilla and Holden Holloway. Big Silver Cam. Yeah. Big Silver Cam. I watched ROEW Meltdown and what happened to JX and Jacob Collins. I mean, are we going to see them in the Backyard Havoc? That's what I want to know. Are we going to see these guys in the Backyard Havoc? Or are we going to see God? Or are we going to see Satan? Are we going to see somebody else? Or is Alex Cross going to be at the Backyard Havoc? Somebody in management, let me know. I don't know about that big man Cam. Nah, you're Holden Marie, bro. You're Holden Marie.
I think that's just a running gag joke.
I see. I will leave that at that. We have more comments here. Crowd is starting to get fired up here. Evening, gents. Joshua, who I mentioned, by the way, who talked about Judas and talking about, which I agree completely with Mr. Allen, is that Judas right now, I think, is one of the best talkers in the backyard circuit. And I put my money on him over pro guys that I've interviewed. I've interviewed a lot of pro wrestlers. I've interviewed more pro wrestlers than backyard wrestlers. And he is easily at the top of my list. It's good old J.A., but not good old J.R. Yes, we certainly appreciate those things. Hi to the owner and general manager, Joshua Allen. Not related to the Buffalo Bills quarterback, but I might want to be the Buffalo Bills quarterback because he goes out with Haley Steinfeld, who I think, by the way, is a little bit more attractive than this other woman that the other football player everybody talks about is named Taylor Swift. But that's my opinion, but we'll move on for that because this is not about that. It's about backyard and underground wrestling coverage because this is not Silverwolf show. Thanks, Parsley and Scylla. We tried to be a team, but that damn dude, Judas, that damn evil angel spit in the face. I'm going to get to that. I'm definitely going to get to that because we'll certainly get to that for sure. There's nothing like, obviously, the DKW Kryptonites. Now, you guys might be called the universe. They're the Kryptonites. The DKW fans are the Kryptonites because they're cryptic, the Kryptonites. And we know that the fans always give kryptonite to help the DKW guys win against their opponents. Let's see here. Yes, it's a joke. Marie is a very fitting middle name. Okay.
I don't think it is.
I don't know why a male, and again, I know it's 2024, but I'm not quite sure. Is there anybody out there that has a middle name of Marie as a male? Now, again, I would certainly not knock anybody if that's the case, but I would like to know if that's the case. Want to say hello to our friend Inevitable. Please respect the ALW ref. And if you're here, hit the sub button for us. But do you respect the ALW ref?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's a good guy.
You do?
Great guy.
Anything else? All right. But also, I do have a question from Big Man Cam with those eyes, which I still think I'm talking with Silverwolf. I still think that I'm talking with Silverwolf here. But when's we going to get our ALW trilogy, Holden? That's a good question.
That is a great question. I don't know. Maybe later down the line. We'll see.
Okay. Also, Big Man Cam says, I retired because I went to ring wrestling full time, but there will be a ring at Havoc. How exciting, though, is that, by the way? We'll come back to ALW. I really want to talk about the Havoc. That's what I think where people are tuned in for tonight. But how exciting is that going to be in the home state of you guys to now be in a ring, to be in a venue that's got some actually really good history right now? I mean, we think about Summer Bash, and yours truly played a huge role in that. We think about last year's Summer Bash, now the Backyard Havoc, what those guys have done. I mean, how cool is that you're going to be in your home state this time now, being in a ring?
I think it's very cool. I mean, I'm very grateful for it, too, that we're getting this chance to get that exposure out there, and, we get more people to look at us, and we can show our true colors of what ALW really means. And we can definitely see, we can see what this can bring us,
Does that give you something? Again, I don't know a lot about the Ohio backyard wrestling circuit. I know the DKW guys for a long time. They've been kind of grandfathered into this platform for pretty much a year and a half. I think about the origins of the backyard wrestling coverage on Sportswire Radio. DKW is like the third promotion right behind WCE and IMF. But it's got to be a big deal for the Ohio wrestling scene. You
Oh
guys,
yeah, for sure.
DKW to play the host. You want to talk about that for a second?
I don't know. I'm not really in the circle of it, but I'm very grateful for it. I mean, we very, very grateful. Like having all these different promotions collide with each other, it's basically just a super show, and just I don't think it's necessarily a war. I just think it's all these promotions coming together and bringing the best, out of everyone.
So it's different than, like, for example, there's a war right now in another part of the Midwest, another purple state and let's say a blue state going after each other, where you guys are both, let's say, mostly in the red state. But there's one state that's a purple one in Wisconsin that might very well get purple, and they might get blue and black in between it from another state, Illinois. And right now it's WCE and STBW. Some guys in WCE are very well known in the backyard circuit. Sean Jovi's a name that's very well known. Nicholas Crenson, Craven Rage, now Sinister are names that are very well established. And these young guys from Illinois, they're small town backyard wrestling. And one of them is in the IMF, has done some work for them recently. Tyler Fury, a few other guys, the Birthday Boy, Nolan Money McDermott, Peyton the Pacemaker, and Dalton. I mean, these guys are now a part of this war. So this is different, you think, than what's going on in the Midwest, where it seems like these young guys are talking about openly that they want to put a nail in the coffin to WCE, and they're basically calling them dinosaurs. You see this more as like, we want to work with everybody kind of thing. So you don't see this as a war then?
Yeah, I would love to work with everybody. I just feel like that's the thing. I mean, you get older guys, you can learn from them, from different, promotions. I mean, you can get the time that these, older guys have, went through, and get to learn from them. I mean,
absolutely.
Just their time in the ring. I mean, they've done a lot. They truly have.
Well, Darkron's a guy. I mean, look at what Darkron's done. I mean, recently, what the work he's done in ROW. He just wrestled Jack Delta for the World Heavyweight title. He just wrestled C Money that opens up the Historic Meltdown show. His work in the IMF, his role in Summer Bash. I mean, him alone. I mean, this is a man that truly has done a lot in this circuit, and he did a lot in the circuit the first time he was out there as a yarder. So there's no question that you see it more or less that you do have a different take than Judas, in the sense that you're
a little bit.
You do have a different take, because again, Judas kind of aligns himself in some ways without knowing it, similar to these guys like in small town backyard wrestling and other trampoliners who feel like that they're being trampolined, that they feel like that their rights have been almost targeted, more or less. And these guys feel that they've been held down a bit. And names like Darkron, for example, have come up, whether it's the guys in small town backyard wrestling, Judas certainly, or maybe frenemy or friend, whatever you might want to call it. So you have a different take than what Judas, let's say, thinks, and others.
I will tell you this: if ALW is being threatened by some other promotion, I will do my best to team up, and we will try to take down the other promotion. I will tell you that. I mean, if we're ever feeling threatened by another promotion, let's set up a match.
But you're not feeling that the Backyard Havoc is not that at all.
I don't think that is. I hope not.
Why do you think Judas feels the way he feels about Darkron? Why do you think that?
I think it's just because we're younger. I mean, he's younger, and he doesn't respect the older guys. He just wants to take the torch. He doesn't want it to get past him. He wants to take the torch, which you got to do what you got to do. I mean, I get it, but I don't want it necessarily to be like that. I mean, I agree with him to an extent,
So you would say then, conversely, that let's say Darkron is somebody that he's not threatening ALW. These guys are not threatening ALW, and that, not to say it's misguided, but maybe you think it's unfair that Darkron's been labeled and with some of these other guys? Because I could understand WCE, some people saying that they're dinosaurs, and Craven Rage and names like Nicholas Crenson and Craven Rage are certainly names that might be dinosaurs, and maybe they do need to get out and pass the torch. But Darkron's still got a lot left in him, you think then?
Oh yeah, for sure. I just think it's just friendly competition. I just just to see who's the best. It's just all about friendly competition.
And we're seeing the Golden Gauntlet here, and what a surprise that was to see Darkron, a legend like this, and what he's been doing. I mean, that's got to have been a big moment. I got to be honest, I was more hyped about the Golden Gauntlet than you wrestling in SummerMania. I got to be honest, because I just think there's something. The ALW universe is so devoted and so loyal, and it means something. I think Darkron appearing in ALW, I think it means more than you wrestling in SummerMania with 30 other people. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but that's what I feel about it. Yeah, XCW is great. XCW's got a lot of history. We love XCW on Sportswire, but I mean that's kind of what I think. What do you?
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
Just ALW is a special place for me, and I mean, to me, that's always top one for me. ALW made me. It's the best for me, I think. And with XCW, yeah, I respect the people who made it, and they're making me better. They're
we
training
love
me.
XCW on Sportswire, no question about that.
I really appreciate what XCW is doing. I'll tell you that. But going right here where Darkron and Trey Mysticality are wrestling, this is what I was talking about earlier. The friendly competition when they shake their hands. That's what it's all about. I think that's what it is. That's what it's all about.
But don't you think that in some people would say that a guy like Darkron should just have done that to Judas?
Judas, yeah, he's been running his mouth, but I mean, I get it to a certain extent. I really do. I get it to a certain extent because he's a hothead. He really is, but
he's the future. I mean, the Tennessee Backyard Wrestling owner, Joshua Allen, a man that he doesn't give praise from other promotions very often, but he praised Judas. He said that Judas right now is one of the very best talkers in this circuit. I mean, so automatically then maybe Judas isn't wrong, and that Judas right now is the future, and that Darkron maybe should have shook his hand and come out. Trey Mysticality, yeah. I mean, he should shake his hand for being a great ring announcer, but it's Judas that's the one that everyone's talking about right now in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit.
I think I'm just very conflicted about this, but I am. But I mean, I'm always up for good competition and friendly competition. But if someone like Judas, I mean, I agree with him on a lot of things.
And look at what he did. This man was near death. I want to say something here for the audience. This young man was near death. He was in ICU. We didn't even know if he was going to be alive. We didn't know, to be honest, if the Backyard Havoc would have ever been able to get off. We didn't even know if we were going to have to do a funeral here on this platform. We didn't know if we were going to have to talk about the funeral of Judas, but it was age 17. This was the day that Judas was born. Everybody talks about Stone Cold Steve Austin, that 316 moment, winning the King of the Ring in 1996 when Austin just whipped your ass. And Judas had his own moment, like Stone Cold, when he won the Golden Gauntlet and defeated Trey Mysticality. And you see it right now, our champion Justin coming out, our reigning defending ALW champion Justin, the man that sits on the top of the mountain in the Ohio backyard wrestling circuit, some would say. And he should have came out there, along with others, and passed that torch to Justin, from Justin to Judas. Because we saw what Judas went through. Judas was near death. We could have been here right now talking about the legacy of Judas and that short-lived career and that short-lived life. And should have been, where was that handshake? Where was that hug? To say, you know what, thank you. Just like Hogan and Warrior, Hogan and Rock. And we didn't get that moment. Don't you think that after what Judas went through, to be near death for his company, a company at times he has fought with and not had the respect? And where was that handshake?
That's another thing with Justin. I don't respect him. I don't. What he did to me and his little friend is truly disrespectful to me, and he needs people to win for him. and that's a given. It's a fact. I mean, he needs other people to win. He needs other people to win. And when he came out there, one before Judas was, basically almost dying, he should have at least given him a little bit of respect. I
He
think
didn't do that. He
he
didn't give
didn't.
him respect. He did
He
not
didn't.
give him the respect. And this young man deserved it. He had the 8-17 mode. And I say it, maybe some would say Darkron should have given, but this is my point. He got the handshake the second time. It should have been the first handshake, should have went right to Judas. Don't you think that he was the golden goal? It shouldn't have been first. Thank you, Judas. Everything you've done to pass that torch.
Oh yeah, for sure. That should have been a big part of this. It should have been, but
It shouldn't have been Trey Mysticality's first. It should have been Judas getting that first handshake. Judas was the winner. That's what some would say right now about this situation.
yeah, you're right. You're right on that. But I just think with Justin and he should have given him that handshake. I'll
Justin
tell you
should
that.
have. Now, Justin, I agree with you. Justin should have came out there as a champion and recognized after what Judas did for this company. Judas is single-handedly, some are saying right now, saving ALW. Some are saying that Judas is keeping ALW relevant. People are talking about ALW. Tennessee Backyard Wrestling right now is talking about ALW. They're talking about them. All other places are talking about them. WCE is talking about them. ROEW is talking about them. XCW now is talking about them. IMF. All these places are talking about ALW because of Judas.
Well, for sure. And that's why I'm on board with Judas a little bit. I mean, Judas is a key player in ALW. He really is. And I'm giving him high praise right now. He's one of the top people in ALW. I mean, and that's why I want to work with him. I really want to work with him again.
I see that. You guys have been aligned in the past. And, that's why it's got to get you excited. We obviously have that 30-minute Iron Man match with you and Jerry that's coming up. And I think that's some of what we saw in this is going to boil over to you and Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah, you and Jerry.
That's an interesting topic. I'll tell you that much.
Well, what's so interesting about that for the audience is we're seeing here some of this, which we'll come back to in a few minutes for sure. We're going to come back to the Backyard Havoc. But what's so interesting about Jerry for the audience?
Jerry, I think he needs a lot of work. I respect him as a person, but with him and Justin, what they did to me when I lost my championship, there's no respect in that. There's none at all.
How about that photo? Don't you think you should have had a better photo, a more updated photo? Maybe that's a sign that you're not being respected the way you want.
I like that photo. I mean,
you don't
look
like
at
the photo.
Look at Jerry's photo.
Well, that's true too. Good point. Okay, duly noted. The board of directors maybe gets half a loaf on that. Okay,
Yeah,
fair play.
look at that doof.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I can call people doofs on the air, but 30-minute Iron Man match. So you're basically going to really make it a long, long night for Jerry, basically.
He's going to be hurting. He will be hurting.
Is it going to be his biggest nightmare? It's going to be quoting Alice Cooper's "Welcome to My Nightmare." Even though Alice Cooper's from Michigan, we're in Ohio, but basically for Jerry, that 30 minutes with you is going to be basically "Welcome to My Nightmare."
Yep, it's going to be a long night for him. I'll tell you that much. It will
How
be a
big
very
then
long
is
night.
this going to be coming for you to use this for what's ahead in the rest of the season, ALW, going into what the next topic is, the Backyard Havoc?
Well, I would like to get, a rematch for the World Championship. I would love that. I feel like I deserve it, and I want to get recognized more. That's my main goal. I mean, after this, if I come out on top, I mean, that I want to keep that momentum going. I really want to. And if I lose, I mean, I just got to get back up and get back in the saddle again, and don't give up.
Well, there's going to be some other matches you're going to also see coming up here in the Nightmare on David show, which will be out very soon. We've got KP Mars, obviously our international champion, who took that from Trey Mysticality, who's been there for ages as the champion. He was disposed by KP Mars. Is going to be going up against Ragface here. Ragface is obviously somebody we're looking forward to seeing what will be in the future from him. We're also going to see Trey Mysticality and a newest member of the roster, Kay. What do you expect from Kay coming here? Very interesting name there for the audience.
For Kay, he made a promo, announcing that he was going to be in the Nightmare on David Street, and I didn't expect much from it, but he delivered. I'll tell you that.
Good.
And I want to see what he can do. I want to see what he can do. I feel like he's got great potential. I feel like he really does.
Well, we're going to find out, and obviously we'll see. We know what Judas is going to do there for sure, and we know what Justin and Judas are going to have some sure unfinished business. And also, that's where you can see the show. Well, the next show, I'm sure we'll have another photo for, but that's August the 31st. But let's actually give people a chance to go and hit that sub button for our friends in all Legendary Wrestling, because you can do that right here, because that's the link. Hit that sub button. If you're on Instagram, and I got a bunch of people still watching us, so if you want to, please hit the sub button for us on Instagram. So we'll take this off the screen. We're here with Holden Holloway. I'm also going to be here tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with Chase Sullivan of the Underground Wrestling Alliance, who just lost his Southern Championship to the headshot Jay Cal. He's going to be here live. So we have a matinee on Sportswire Radio, so you'll definitely want to check that out. So 6 o'clock, we're here with CJ the Alpha Junt. And then we're also here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Chase Sullivan. At least I get a break in between shows, kind of like yesterday. I get a couple of hours to kind of rest my voice, come back on. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. Looking forward to seeing our friends in Legendary Backyard Wrestling, the Backyard Wrestling Nexus, and the Underground Wrestling Alliance. So let's get to some more comments here. Yes, Small Town Backyard Wrestling is going after WCE. They have a brawl. They have a war. You guys, it's more like friendly competition. Let's see. May the best person win, but we're all on the same team.
I will tell you this. It could change. It could change.
That
could change.
We got a lot of time until then. We have a lot more coverage. I will tell you that much of the Backyard Havoc to Sportswire. We have a lot of coverage coming up. You expect in the month of October a lot of coverage ahead. And a lot of people... we're going to have a lot of talk about. There's going to be a lot of Backyard Havoc talk. You're going to see some of your very favorites here. You're going to see a lot of coverage. Judas is going to be back in the house. Trey Mysticality is going to be back here. I mean, you just know that you're going to get a lot of coverage of the Backyard Havoc. And Big Man Cam's going to be doing that coverage on Silverwolf Show on his own Instagram stream. I know that for sure because he's exclusive talent to Silverwolf. What's his podcast called again? Well, let's move on here. Let's move on. ALW and DKW and Blizzard. Blizzard's a good one because Judas has been the champion there for like almost since like Obama was president, or something like that. I mean, have you considered going to Blizzard?
I've been thinking about it. Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot. I want to go everywhere, man. I really do.
Is there any places that you're thinking about in mind, more or less? I mean, we've seen you in XCW. We're going to see you in the Backyard Havoc. Any other places you'd like to show up to?
I'd like to go to ROEW.
You would like to go to ROEW. I mean, why not? Because Big Man Cam's been there. I mean, why not you? I mean, why not? Why not? Why did Big Man Cam invite you there in the first place?
He did. It's just personal life.
I see. Well, he was focused on eating pizza. You hear about this whole thing with him and pizza?
Yeah.
I see the chat now percolating. Let's move on. ALW has so much potential in their locker room. They just need a little work and some upgrades, but I know they have the drive. They want to grow. They want to get better, and I will do what I can to help those guys. So really, Judas should respect that from Darkron, and he should want to embrace that. This is not a situation like in WCE and STBW where those guys have been holding on to the spots too long, and it's time for them to move on. This is a situation where Darkron's really trying to help, and Judas shouldn't be throwing DKW hats in the garbage, right? You didn't agree with that, right? Darkron's DKW hat being thrown in the garbage and things that Judas said about DKW and Darkron, that stuff you didn't agree with then.
Yeah, it's just stuff like that. I don't know. It's very confusing. I don't know. It's very confusing. But I do want to see ALW grow, and I'm very happy with this comment right here. I really am. Because I want to see ALW grow.
And we do, generally speaking, we want that. We want to work with all our wrestlers, all our promotions. I have said it here. We're about positivity now. If you've noticed, we've gotten away from a lot of that Silver Wolf stuff. We've gotten a lot from away from all the drama. You don't see the drama no more. You see new people come onto Sportswire. Subscribers are up. Viewership is up still. People are happy. We're here to bring people together, not tear them down. So that stuff, I mean, understandably, I do agree with, and I'm sure that ALW and DKW are going to work together for positive results. It's going to be about positivity because I do have a line. We all win together, so we will always win together. But this guy here, Jack Delta, has some rather interesting comment here. Jack Delta, he's the REW champion, who's fresh off defeating Justin Parsley, who's the PWF champion, but he wants to say this. Reminder that no matter how much ALW does for the yard, I will kick Judas's ass any day of the week. What do you think here? This is kind of out of left field almost.
It is. That's Judas's problem, man. That's all his problem. I mean, I'm not in the middle of it. I don't want to get in the middle of that.
You never met Jack Delta, right? You never met him.
I have not.
Okay, so then you nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. Okay, that's an interesting comment. All right, fair. I respect that. I don't know anything about it. How can I comment? And yes, Zilla, I think a lot of people are stunned. Zilla is a real human being. She really exists. And yeah, she's just real. And it was a real show on Instagram. But Zilla's here now in the chat. Yes, we appreciate that. Zilla was great. We love Zilla. We thank Zilla for her hard work. And she's definitely our resident chat expert. She really watches all this stuff. I've seen her in Australian. She watches the Australian stuff, BWDU. I saw her there. I've seen her in NEW stream. I've seen her in BTW, the trampoline. I've seen her in ROEW stream. She really watches the shows. She really watches them. She's really a true fan, and I really appreciate that. We need more true fans. We
Very
love
dedicated.
our fans. We do, and she really is dedicated. I don't know how this woman has the time, but she really believes in this stuff. She was talking about all the wrestlers. She was talking about the storylines. She knows her stuff. She knows more than some of these wrestling promoters. I mean, she knows more than Fletch. I mean, Fletch doesn't even watch anything out of XCW. I'm surprised he knows his own promotion. You can say nothing on this. I'm surprised he knows what's going on in his own promotion. No, seriously. I mean, we love Fletch, but I mean, I'm just saying the truth. But he said that himself actually here on this platform. He doesn't watch anything about XCW. So that's the point. We all got updated photos of the last taping. They'll be better. I got more comments here. Chat's starting to percolate here. Let's go with Judas first. Notice how Darkron hasn't responded to the face-off offer live on Sportswire. That's a good point because a couple of weeks ago, Judas was here after the 817 moment, and he wanted a face-to-face with Darkron. Now, we've got plenty of days available until November 9th to 10th. Do you think that we should see Backyard Havoc members face off with each other live or wait until Bremen? We go to Bremen.
That's a good question.
I'm going to get to the Havoc next. That's going to.
I feel like, for me, in my opinion, I feel like we should just wait.
Okay.
That's where where all of it's going to go down. I mean, that's like the big moment. It's the big moment. It's a very big moment.
So Judas and Kron, they should just wait to Bremen again. I
think it's that big fight feel.
It does have a big. I tell you what, I am excited about the Backyard Havoc. I can't wait. Actually, I didn't mind talking XCW, but I was like, let's go just to ALW and Backyard Havoc. But we love XCW. We want to make sure we get XCW in the beginning. But and Delta, I respect you, but it's clear that there's no respect back. It's all fun and games till you run into the evil engine. You know what? I saw that some guy in Texas who looks like some Shawn Michaels knockoff was saying things about Jack Delta. I've seen guys in other places that come here have said things about Jack Delta, and Judas, he's following them. So maybe Judas, I don't know. I don't know. I know Judas is coming back to Sportswire very soon before the end of the month. You rest assured. And I know that Jack Delta is going to be back because he was here a couple of weeks ago. But that leads me into now what I'm going to talk about for the remaining time of the show, the topic that I am much excited to talk about, and I hope everybody else joins me in getting ready to discuss, and that is the Backyard Havoc. And I don't know why it keeps showing. I followed it, and I don't follow. I don't know what is happening with my Instagram because on one page it shows I'm following it, the other it doesn't. But let's go like this anyway. I don't know why it keeps showing that. But the Backyard Havoc, and boy, am I excited about that. It takes place November 9th to November 10th. And look at what I have right here to show what you're about. You're here in it, and you're the first member of ALW to be confirmed. And how excited are you to be a part upcoming of the Backyard Havoc?
I'm very excited. Like earlier, I just want to show everyone what I can do. Like I'm very excited to show everyone what I can do at this. Like I feel like I'm going to get my name out here. You know, I'm just trying to make a name for myself. I'm new. I just want to be recognized.
And how exciting is it, from my memory, I don't know, somebody can probably tell me this or not. I'm sure someone can come across with something to maybe fact check, but this is the first full super show that I can remember. I mean, this is a big deal into the fact that we're having a full super show with so many promotions, not just TKW and ALW. We've got people from TBW even, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. We've got CBW, XCW. We've got ROEW. IMF is a part of this. We got a lot of great companies that are a part of this here. And that's got to be exciting that from my memory, from my recollection, this might be like the first official fall super show that I've seen in the backyard circuit, or at the very least, a very long time.
Well, I'm glad that you can see that. I mean, I'm very glad.
Well, I'm the man that came up with the idea. You better believe I'm excited about it. I was the one that came up with it with Judas. I mean, you want to basically shoot the messenger, by all means, fire the shot. Put it right through either my heart or put it right through my head. But I was the man that came up with the idea. So, yeah, you better believe I'm excited.
I'm very grateful. Really am.
Oh, and I'm grateful to see great individuals being a part of this. And, I mean, to show your skills on a stage, I mean, there's a lot of talents announced for this. Do you have anybody that's a dream opponent of yours that's been signed to the Backyard Havoc already that you would like to see participate in and such?
There's quite a handful of people. I mean, I know there's someone in ROEW that uses the same theme as me, so I know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I wouldn't mind facing him, and I wouldn't mind getting in the ring again with Big Man Cam. I think that would be pretty cool. Because I haven't faced him in about a year. It's been a while. It's been a while, and I would like to face the veterans and see what I can learn from them. And that's what it's all about. It's a beautiful story, to say the least.
And the history with you and Big Man Cam, it's well documented. You guys have such a history. And to have that opportunity to wrestle him possibly in Bremen, Ohio, in a ring, I mean, pretty cool feat.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What are your goals with the Backyard Havoc?
My goals, well, mainly, I'd like to win.
Well, everybody wants to win, but is there anything else in particular? Do you feel that this could be a springboard to you to get more opportunities?
I would like that. Yeah, more opportunities. I just want to get, eyes on me, and different promotions to have their eyes on me as well. I'd like to wrestle anywhere, That's like the whole story of it, Who doesn't want to do that?
Does it mean more for guys in the ALW roster, such as yourself, such as maybe, let's say, Judas, Trey Mysticality, guys like Justin, Jerry, KP Mars, guys like that are in the roster that maybe aren't as well known to a lot of, let's say, this audience? Well, Judas is known now. We'll take Judas because he's very well known. But let's just say guys like yourself, guys like Trey Mysticality, other guys in ALW, that this is an opportunity to almost have like a coming out party. Do you feel like in some ways that this event can be a springboard where maybe a lot of people that watch this platform or in other promotions can find out what you guys all bring to the table?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, on the first starters, take Justin and Jerry out of the equation. I mean, they're well out the door. I mean, they
they would be in the Craven Rage, Nicholas Crenton territory. I'm well aware of that. But, I had to, at least to be objective, I have to put them in there.
Yeah, they're on their way out. I mean, but yeah, I would like to get springboard and, everyone, involved in it in ALW. Yeah, I feel like that could be the case here. We're having this big event, where a lot of people are having their eyes on. A lot of people are. And
me too. I'm very excited about this. I got to say, Summer Bash really it wetted the palate. Then we had the Riot in the Ring for our friends in NEW. They just had the All Wrestling Matters Hardcore Tournament, which airs on Saturday. But I feel like this is almost like, it's sort of different in a sense, but it's like, I think after what Summer Bash did, and these other events like Riot in the Ring, which we worked with here on Sportswire, the All Wrestling Matters Hardcore Tournament, I feel like that the Backyard Havoc really takes it to another level. And it really, for me, excites, I think, not just me, but the rest of the audience that comes here, because you're going to see wrestlers that you wouldn't have got a chance to see maybe, or maybe you would.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's like all these bigger wrestlers and different promotions, and to have a chance to do that, it really is something special. I want to have this moment and, capitalize on this.
Well, I got something for you in about 60 or so seconds, because you want announcements, you want capitalization. you want big match feels, I'm going to have that for you. So hang on tight to that, because I got something from the board of directors and management in the Backyard Havoc that's going to be related toward you, the Holland one, Holden Holloway, which you're going to want to stay tuned. But let me ask you one more follow-up on this when it comes to ALW. Do you think that ALW has more to prove than any other company or even any other wrestler going to this? Because you guys are probably, of all the wrestling companies that are a part of this, probably kind of the least known. Do you guys feel like you have the most to prove here?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we're new. Like, we're completely new, like from the ground up. We have a lot to prove, a lot, and to have this, this moment to prove what we can do. This is our springboard. This is what's going to get us up.
I agree with that. I definitely agree. And speaking of things now, I have comments. I'm going to get to the chat in a minute, but I do have an announcement for you, Holden Hollow, because you want an opponent. You mentioned ROEW. I mean, they sort of exist, your opponent in ROEW, but I'm going to give the audience that opportunity along with me, because I don't even know who you're facing. So I'm going to open the email up now, because I don't even know who you're facing, because I'm a believer and I don't want to see surprises. I don't like to get the outcomes. Even though I'm a man that's instrumental in this event, I have no idea on what happens. But we're going to, with the rest of the world here, officially see Holden Holloway. For those that are listening and watching here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, you are officially now wrestling in the Backyard Havoc in a mental health match. I mean, speaking of people that had your own theme song, and boy, you are definitely going to be mental health will drive you mad. Bang your head. You're going to be banging a lot of heads here, because you're going to get a chance to bang a head with a man that I think exists, I think is alive. And I'm talking about the matchmaker, JX. It's going to be Holden Holloway, the Hollow one, versus the matchmaker. And boy, the gentleman here in ALW and everybody else in between watching us, the board of directors, boy, this is a match, quite a matchmaker, whoever made this match. Holden Holloway, JX, and maybe the battle of Bang Your Head. And you got to be excited, because this is a first world premiere. We've got another match announcement. This is all going to take place November 9th to 10th. Now, hopefully, JX will see him here at this match. But as far as we know, he's announced a mental health match. I mean, have you ever been in a mental health match, by the way?
No, I haven't. I've definitely never heard of it either, so this could be a first.
Well, what can we expect? A lot of metal, maybe? A lot of metal objects? Metal? Right. Will you both be coming out to bang your head? And will the loser of this now have to change their theme song?
Oh, I don't know. That could be a good concept right there. That could be a good concept.
You know, I was listening to this morning. It was Conrad Thompson and Jeff Jarrett. They were talking about NCAA college football 25, and they were talking about playing, and the loser would have to lose something, and they didn't know what to come up with. So I don't know if the case should be that the loser should change their theme song. Maybe this is the battle of who comes out to bang your head most. But JX, a big opponent for you, an opponent you could improve a lot to. I mean, we know Judas has got a match with Matthew Forsaken against Darkron and Trey Mysticality, but JX is a guy that's a proven name. He's been a world champion in Ohio and Michigan. He's a guy that's done a lot in the backyard circuit, a veteran, and you have a chance here to really prove yourself and kind of prove ALW is here to stay with a huge victory here at the Backyard Havoc.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm excited for this. I mean, this goes back to it earlier. I mean, this is a big match now. I mean, I want to prove myself. I really do. In this match, I want to prove myself. Someone like this, JX, I want to prove myself.
Have you ever faced off with somebody like a JX?
I have not. This is going to be my biggest match of my career so far.
How big of a deal is that then to wrestle a guy like him who's been a world champion? He's been on the stage. He's been in there with the likes of Jack Delta, Omen Black, CJ Black, Jason Storm. He's been in there with some big players. I mean, big names throughout his career. This is a guy that a lot of people, they know. Copper Dragon has rated him extremely high. I mean, this is a guy that regularly gets out of 7 stars, gets well in the 6s. This is a guy, he's a matchmaker. I mean, when he shows up and wrestles, he's a matchmaker.
I'm very excited for this. I really am. I don't know much about him. I don't know, but I will be taking notes now. I'll tell you that.
He had a brief run in XCW, but I think you were not in XCW at that point. So, brief run in there. So, okay, well, I'm going to let this digest for a minute. I got a lot more comments here, so let's hang out with the chat for a little bit. I got another poster I want to share, but let's get to it here first. Let's come back to where we are. I don't even know where we started left off. Now, okay, there we go. Mr. Judas, we can do that, but we should wait for our spotlight. See, you have a lot to learn. Holden is the hand I should be shaking. Wow, Darkron seems to respect you. So no issue with Darkron in that sense. I see. I
appreciate it.
And we do appreciate Mr. Kron. Big Man Cam says, Backyard Havoc got 2 strikes on the TikTok account, hence the lack of post. It's okay. I'm on TikTok all the time. You just watch my TikTok. Actually, I'm getting people that tell me they watch me on TikTok now. I have like a couple of clips with like 1,000 views. Instagram is good, but if I can't double post, it doesn't get the word out there. Well, you got the word out here right now on Sportswire. I got 27 people watching. You think the word wasn't out? I think the word was out. I'll take care of that. I'm the one that has the mic. I'll apologize to Holden because this is his episode and his moment. I don't want to ruin his moment like some people have in the past. Cough, cough, Darkron. But there is a point that people feel that guys like Darkron, guys like Nicholas Crenson, guys like Sinister, that those are guys that they should pass the torch. That's what those guys in Illinois are talking about. Small town backyard wrestling. They have been yelling for weeks. They have been yelling that WCE should pass the torch. WCE is riding the coattails of IMF. They're riding the coattails of places like, let's say, Summer Bash. Let's say DKW is riding the coattails of places like the IMF and Summer Bash and ROEW. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I let the public decide, but that's what younger wrestlers say. And you're a younger wrestler, by the way. You're a younger wrestler. But you don't think veterans should pass the torch then?
I feel like when the moment is right, they should. I mean, for Darkron, he needs to prove. He needs to prove that he still has it. He still has a lot in the tank. And for Judas, I mean, this is one of his biggest matches.
I think this is his match. I mean, listen, I know it was Judas 817, but this is a match. A lot of people are going to be watching this because Darkron is a big, big name right now. He's a big money draw. He just wrestled C Money, who just beat Atomic Titan. He just wrestled Jack Delta. People know his history with Omen Black and Soldier GP. I mean, Darkron's a big money draw. This is a big money. This is, like you said, this is a big money match. You're getting this at the Backyard Havoc, and yours truly came up with the idea. I'm going to get to that, and we want to say hello to our TriStar champion, Chaotic, and my buddy, Alan Michaels, who's an analyst for me Friday nights, 10 o'clock. They're on the poster, which I have next. We're going to get to that next. Never say never, Kid Holden. You'll have your opportunities. J.A. looking forward to meeting those gentlemen. Yes, looking forward to meeting the guys. Looking forward to seeing what they can do against other guys from different companies. I'm very excited about this. I love seeing guys from TBW. I love seeing guys from ALW, IMF, new people, ROEW. Just excited about that. Dark calls him the evil crybaby. The evil cry. You know what they should have? I tell you what. You know what they should have? I'm going to make everybody laugh here. If you want to go back, Joshua Allen's going to know this. Darkron might know this reference, but years ago, God rest his soul, Razor Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid, they had a crybaby match. It was In Your House. I think it was In Your House 7 or 8. And maybe one day Judas and Darkron should have a crybaby match. Maybe somebody can go out and watch that match. They can figure it out, and maybe that's the match. Darkron and Judas will have a crybaby match, and maybe that'll be a Backyard Havoc too. Who the hell knows? The Boogeyman is going to be there. Would be a good one for you, Holden. Well, I saw Omen Black was with the Boogeyman. Does somebody know something I don't? Zilla loves backyard wrestling more than WWE, AEW, ROEW, TNA, WWE, XT. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree with you more. Somebody today asked me, they said, why don't you get WWE wrestlers on? I said, why would I get WWE wrestlers when I have the very best in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit that want to be here? Why would I want WWE? Listen, Roman Reigns calls. You tell Roman Reigns on the phone, I'm busy. I'm talking to Holden Holloway. Mark my words on that. Cody Rhodes calls. Cody Rhodes is on the phone right now. Hey, Reverend. It's Cody Rhodes right now, the American Nightmare. WWE champion, I'm on the phone. Sorry, can't talk with you. Judas is on Sportswire. That's what I'm going to tell him. It doesn't matter. Solo Sikoa's on the line. Gunther's on the line. I got Big Man Cam on. I got Sean Jovi coming on, Trey Mysticality. The list goes on and on and on. James Taylor, man, who's the ROEW owner. The ROEW owner is here. Maybe he could make your dreams come true and sign you to ROEW. James Taylor, the legendary James Taylor, who's been battling with Big Man Cam, by the way. He's been battling with him for weeks. Let's get to more comments. The people are fired up right now. Evil Crybaby, is that what ROEW called you when you lost to C Money and failed to win the Prestige Championship? Careful who you're talking to. You know, Darkron did have a tactic at first he had to think about. That's a good point by Judas, because we saw today Darkron had a tactic that he hasn't had in his decorated career before. It's an interesting point. Yes, we love James Taylor on this platform, and we love ROEW, by the way. ROEW is almost at 1,000 subs. JX and Holden Holloway have the same theme, but two different variants. The mental health match will be wild, and it'll drive you mad. It's a surprise. Yes, one has the original, the other one has the new version. I like the original version. I have to be honest. I'm more of a original fan, but that's okay. We move on, and maybe JX will show up to this match. Hello there from Northeast Florida. Yes, Woo Riders has been one of our Rough Riders on Sportswire, always opening up shop with us. And Woo Riders is from Jacksonville. Also, Darkron said, I'm talking to you, Crybaby. Hey, look at me. Your time running out, kid. I got a good one here from Australia. Ace Reed, young kid, wants to come to America. He's got $1,500 he's spending next year to come here. Would you like to see him in ALW? Would you like to see him maybe in XCW or ROEW or other places, especially that you work for, like ALW and XCW? Would you like to see an Ace Reed show up?
That would be really cool. That would be really cool. Okay. Someone from being that far away coming here, I mean, that would be really cool.
He's a big star. He's been here.
That'd be a great opportunity, too.
I think that we would love to see Ace Reed in ALW, and we'd love to see him here maybe in Backyard Havoc, too, or maybe Summer Bash next year. Ace Reed has been a guy that he has really done a lot in the Australian backyard scene. He's a big deal. I got a lot of comments. The chat is fired up, Holden. You're going to have to hang on for a little while longer. Evening, Mr. Taylor. Yes, James Taylor, the legendary James Taylor, of course. Have you met James Taylor yet?
I don't think I have.
He's got 130,000 followers. He's got more followers once upon a time than Cora Jade. Cora Jade has to show her assets, and she still can't get more followers than James Taylor on TikTok. Well, I might want to look at her assets. Some might want to, you know, but that's obviously for Big Man Cam's appearance on Silverwolf show. They can digest it. But I think Silverwolf likes, let's say, men that dress up women who have those assets. I think that's what he likes, Silverwolf. But Silverwolf but let's not get there. Let's not get there. We're a family station. We do things. We're the Disney of the wrestling circuit. We've changed. We've gone like WWE and WWE into more Disney. That's what we do here. Hi to our Backyard Wrestling Down Under. Yes, what a match between Mr. Kron and Mr. C Money. Thank you, boss man. We love that. Yes, I'm on the social. Thank you for having the mic, Tom. I appreciate it. Yes, we love Big Man Cam on Sportswire. We can't wait to get Big Man Cam back on Sportswire. And I still have another thing for the Backyard Havoc to share. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. A lot more stuff coming in here. You're the one to talk about time is running out, Kron. Let's hope that your pacemaker. Well, let's not go there. Let's not go there people's pacemakers. But I'll make sure to bring your wheelchair for the retirement. We're talking about wheelchairs. We're talking about pacemakers. Can you imagine what these two men are going to be like in Bremen? You talk about the Browns and Bengals. You talk about the Battle of Ohio. You talk about what's going to happen between the Steelers and Browns when they meet. You talk about the Ravens and Browns. You talk about the Bengals and the Ravens. You talk about any of those AFC North matchups. Can you imagine 817 Judas and the legendary Darkron in Bremen? It very well might take the entire Backyard Havoc locker room to keep those two separated. I mean, you want to talk about Brett. Listen, we all know historically Brett and Shawn, their history, how Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels despise each other. We know the history between Kevin Owens and CM Punk, Seth Rollins and CM Punk, the Young Bucks and CM Punk. Can you imagine, though, what's going to happen between the evil Angel Judas and Darkron in Bremen, Ohio? Can you imagine? It may take Big Man Cam. It may take Trey Mysticality. It may take, if he shows up, your opponent JX. It might take, if your opponent and whoever shows up to wrestle him, Jacob Collins, Justin Parsley, Alan Michaels. It may take everybody in that locker room to keep those two men separated before they square up in that historic tag team match. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting fired up just even thinking about that. You should earn that torch. Ooh, I told you, these two men, you might need to keep them away from each other. You might, let me tell you something. You might even need to have police on site to make sure that those two don't beat each other up to the point that it could very well be a felony. It could be any type of crime committed, because that's how much these two guys don't like each other. I don't think I've seen anything in the backyard circuit to what these two men, in terms of the hatred between them. Joshua Allen, all of TBW is invited. We do have a deadline of September 28th, so we can have a proper card and tell proper stories. And those stories are on Sportswire, right? Right, management? They better be on Sportswire, right? But let's go on. Crybaby match, you have to put a diaper on your opponent. I'll tell you what. Could Judas be wearing a diaper? Could Darkron have a diaper? Could it mean Father Time? I don't even know. You know what? I know we're going to get to final thoughts, but we got a lot of people fired up right. Yes. Hello to Chaotic. We love Chaotic. And the chat is fired up right now. They're fired up. Yes. What torch, Kron, your fire went out years ago. Ooh. I'll tell you what. I don't know if that's a fair statement. Did the torch go out years ago? I mean, right now, guys like Darktron and Craven Rage and Nicholas Crenson, even Sean Jovi, they're on the run right now. They are on the run. Chris Jones already is heading for the exits. He retired. He retired on Thursday. He saw the tea leaves. Could Darkron be next? Could Craven Rage, a.k.a. Sinister, be next? Could Nicholas Crenson be next? Could Sean Jovi be next? Does that extend to other promotions? We will have to find out. Yes, a lot of people like Cora Jade, and I'm sure that's on Dark Den's podcast right now that they're talking about that. But we have a family show to run here on Sportswire. We have sponsors here. He can get away with that on Instagram. He can get away with that on Silver Wolf Show. But we have family that listens to this show. We have friends. We have supporters, and we actually have them. And that's why we are so happy to be live right now in prime time, the Brian, and also on our internet radio station, sportswireradio.org. Mr. Holden, out of respect for you, sir, I will ignore Mr. Judas. Ooh. Hello to our buddy, Mr. ADT. We're going to get the guys from Alabama on here soon. I promise. I know everybody's a long list of people. What song are you guys talking about? Quiet Riot, Bang Your Head. That's what we're talking about, right? Bang your head. Mental health will drive you right. Yeah. Yes, and Zilla's real. Yes, Zilla is real. Zilla is real. These stories will be beautiful for Sportswire. I promise I'm doing my best. Well, I hope so. I'm sorry, but when the host can't make proper eye contact, I'm good on going back. Okay, before we get to some final things, I do have another poster I want to put up there. This is a little bit more of a generic poster, but it's still an important poster, which I want to show for our audience because it bangs home the message of what you're going to see at the Backyard Havoc. 2-day event, November 9th to November 10th. How about this beautiful poster here? Bremen, Ohio. It does
look beautiful.
I'll tell you what, whoever designed that, they should get a raise. They should get a bonus. Look at the names we got. Look at the people that are advertised here. You got Anthony Steele, by the way. Anthony Steele, who's worked in XCW. Don't ask about his history. You'll find out when you see him there. He's an interesting individual. He's also worked in TBW, and he's worked in IMF, and he's back in IMF. That's going to be fun. You got the likes of Justin Parsley, who you work with. Jason Storm, you've probably seen him around. There's your old friend Judas. We got a list of all other people. I mean, look at these names. Matthew Forsaken. How about Soldier GP? You got Joe Stone. Chaotic. The TriStar champion of the prophecy of the company. That's the mothership of the Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, of the Backyard Wrestling Circuit. Almost 8,000 subscribers. You got Chaotic here. JX, if he shows up. You got Omen Black, who runs this platform and is always bound in blood. Big Man Cam, the CBW champion. He was the XCW New Age champion. Everybody holds that title. Matthew Forsaken, we're all Forsaken. And Darkron is in the middle of that poster, but not Judas. And my buddy, the trendsetter, who always stays trendy, Alan Michaels. Boy, you can imagine Judas has got to be upset right now, Holden, because he sees that Darkron's in the front and center, and it's not Judas. He's got to be. Listen, Judas is going to be. I'm going to tell you something. Those guys, keep them away from each other. Just keep them away from each other. And also, if you'd like to check it out, here's the companies. And for whatever reason, have you noticed that my logo, it's there, but my Sportswire radio isn't there? But that's okay. I got a better logo, which I'm going to put up on the screen in a few minutes. I'll take care of that here. But we have the big bucks on Sportswire. We have the big bucks. Somebody actually, I got so much money that I actually turned down. Somebody wanted to buy Sportswire radio. I told him no. For what? For what? That's okay. We got the poster. We got the point. Okay, so the Backyard Havoc, you've got a match with JX. And what else is going on with you? How you feeling right now, by the way? How's your health feeling?
Right now, I got a banged up shoulder right now, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let that stop me.
No.
This is the biggest event of, my career. I mean, I have to go through with it. I have to put out all the stops to make sure I go through with this and actually show up. So I can do this. I can do this.
I mean, you told us you're battling something. So, is that something that you're gonna have to? You think you can recover with?
I think I can. It's a rotator cuff. So.
Ooh. Oh boy, rotator cuff. Baseball players have that. Pitchers have the rotator cuff. That's a big injury there. I hope you're not throwing a baseball anytime soon.
Yeah, hope not either. But
you might want to throw it though at Justin's head, considering what you think about him.
Yeah, he deserves it. He definitely deserves it, and Jerry too. He deserves it. They both do.
What is it that you don't like so much about those guys? Are those guys also, you would say, should be mentioned in the same categories as, let's say, other guys that younger wrestlers have more or less said that should pass the torch to? Should they be in that discussion, or you don't think so?
I don't think they should be in that discussion at all. I don't think Justin and Jerry should even be in any discussion. They're just nobodies. I mean, I don't respect them at all. They bring a bad, I don't know, it's just completely horrible what they've done to the name of ALW. And it's just pathetic to look at and see. I don't like them at all. So with this 30-minute Ironman match.
So you would say that really that these are guys that really were nevers, basically. Nevers.
Yeah. I mean, I respect them as people. I really do. But man, when I wrestle them, it's a whole different ballgame. I'll tell you that much.
So you're going to use them as the beginning of your more or less coming out tour to have a really big rest of the year, correct?
Yep. And as soon as I beat Jerry, I'm going to dust my feet off, dust in his eyes, move on. That's what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do in this 30-minute Ironman match.
So this is a big match to lead for a big year.
Oh, yeah, and sure.
What did it mean to you to be a two-time ALW champion?
A two-time, it's the first person to ever do that in ALW. And, who knows? Maybe it could be the first ever three-time. Who knows? Could happen soon.
Well, I mean, that's very much a possibility. There's no question that is a big possibility. I don't know what the future holds, but the first step is to defeat Jerry.
Yep, that is the truth. I have to beat Jerry to keep this momentum going. I just returned to ALW, and I got the crowd behind me, and that's what my job is. I need to keep the crowd behind me. And notice how Jerry doesn't have the crowd. He doesn't have the crowd in the palm of his hands. He can't do that. Because he's not good. He's not good at all.
He's not a Hollywood one.
No, I don't want his name and my name conjoined together. He just doesn't deserve the attention at all.
So Jerry and Justin should find other ventures, then, you're saying?
Yeah, they just need to be taken out behind the shed and be put down. They need that. They need to go away from ALW. They don't deserve to be here. I respect them as people, but as wrestlers, I shouldn't even be mentioning that they're wrestlers. I really shouldn't.
Make you that much upset to what they do and why they're here, then, right?
Yeah. They cost me my name. I think they costed me what I am.
Can you recover from that?
Eventually, yes. When they're gone, that would be ideal. That would be ideal. They hurt my name, and they definitely hurt my fans as well.
And that's where you and Judas are on the same page.
Yep, correct. And these guys are older too. You think they'd have that spark, but they don't. You think they'd have knowledge. They don't at all.
So they don't. So Darkron's somebody that at least has knowledge, but you don't find that Justin and Jerry have the knowledge then to pass along anything.
Yep, exactly. They didn't even have a torch to begin with.
And you're in XCW, and there's a lot of veterans there. You have guys like Fletch, regardless of what you think about Fletch. You have even well-traveled guys like Jackson Law. Chris Jones was just here last night, the legendary Chris Jones, Justin Parsley. I mean, there's a lot of veterans in XCW, and most of those guys, people would say, have some type of knowledge to pass along. But you're telling me that Justin and Jerry, they don't have anything to pass down.
Yeah, they don't even have a torch to pass. They don't.
Do they have a water bottle at least to pass?
Yeah, after they're red and dehydrated from after their match, 5-minute long match. And that's all they can do. They can't last that long.
Well, we'll have to find out. I'll tell you that much. I do have some more comments before we get to a few final things here. It's okay. We'll give you a pass. Don't worry about that. We're good on that. I got plenty of people that see my logo. I'm here every night. Thank you, Big Man Cam. As long as everybody else got a chance. I'll give Kron this. He's been around long enough to be front and center on the poster, but it's only because he's had age. But, that's a point that resonates with people. When you know and have friends in the right places, like in ROVW, James Taylor, IMF, the proprietor there. People, that resonates and say, you know what? You scratch my back, I scratch yours. There is that feeling. And maybe guys like Judas have a point. I don't know. I don't know that answer. People have said that before on this platform. I'm not educated enough to make that. Anthony Steele has had his opinions on that as well. He talked about that Monday on the show. He felt he had his feelings, but I don't know. I don't know enough to say that you scratch my back, I scratch yours when it comes to people like Darkron. And yes, we say hello to Anthony Steele, but he's not here. But yes, we do say hello to him. Can you preach a little louder for those in the back? Keep sharing the truth. We're the future of ALW, and you guys may be very well the future of the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit. And I think that that's why this coming weeks in ALW to end the season are meaning a lot more. And also this backyard havoc. And I think that's why we're very excited about the future. And I also, one more time, before we get to a few final thoughts, I want to thank everybody. 900 subscribers, and we're more than 900 now. So I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers. They also say the road to WrestleMania is the road to WrestleMania tour, but we are now on the road officially to 1,000 subscribers now that we're less than 1,000 away. So I can't wait. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers by my birthday. I'm 96 away. My birthday is October 7th. So if you're out there, have your friends, tell their friends and their friends, and also listen to great talents like Holden, Holloway. And also, I want to give a big shout out one more time before we move on here. Look at this beautiful photo here. This was designed by Ox McCoy. Ox McCoy, of course, he is always reigning in blood, sends his messages in blood, and he's practically lives in blood. He is from the IMF. He is a part of the Sinners, which is aligned with Justin Parsley, and he designed this beautiful photo for me, which I can't click. There we go. Thank you, technology. But look at that photo. How about that? Ox McCoy. Not only does he beat up people and, gives everybody shots in blood and does death matches, he can design some logos. And how about that beautiful logo there? We love Ox McCoy. We love all of our wrestlers. We love everybody that comes on here. It doesn't matter if they're young, old, new, been here for 20 years, backyard, underground, pro, deathmatch, ground, floor, trampoline. We love all of our wrestlers, and we love Ox McCoy. We can't thank him enough, and we're almost there. What do you want to say to anybody before we get to final thoughts?
Well, I just want to say to everyone who is viewing the Backyard Havoc event, be tuned, stay tuned. I mean, it's just getting started. This journey is just getting started. And I want to have a big audience for this, because this means a lot. It means a lot to ALW and all the other promotions that are involved with this. And as everyone's stoked for this. I mean, you could tell that there's a lot of big fight feeling.
I'm fired up for this. I got to be honest. I really want to spend a lot of October, as much as we can, to talk about the Backyard Havoc. I really feel that this is going to capture what Summer Bash had and the Riot in the Ring, the All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament. And I think it's something needed for the Backyard and the underground wrestling circuit. I think it gives people an opportunity to have something new. I think it gives them a chance to see more collaboration. It gives an opportunity for freshness. It gives an opportunity for more wrestlers to see where they can go and who they might want to like and try new things. And that's what it should be about. It's all wrestling matters. And this is something in the fall. We never get a chance to see fall wrestling and fall wrestling super shows. And that's why I'm really pumped up about this. Another one in October also I like to mention called Shock's Party in Buffalo, New York. And he's taking the bull by the horns. He's doing one, and it's everybody's doing something different, which is why I think we should have something like an underground wrestling alliance. You've maybe heard about this, where there's companies talking about maybe working together, collaborating, promoting, exchanging talent. Would you be for something like that, where other could be ALW? How about ALW, IMF, DKW, ROEW? Could be aligned with TF Crew, could be aligned with NEW, could be aligned with who knows, whatever else. Would that be something you think would be a clever idea?
I think it would be a great idea. You know, it would be an awesome idea too. I mean, just having these opportunities to, you know, come forth like this and make something really good out of this. That could be a really cool, you know, it could be great.
I tell you what, and I'm going to do everything in my power, humanly possible, to see if we can make that happen, because I think a lot of people are excited about that. We need change. We need to be brought together. Sportswire has been doing that. If you look at the last several weeks before we sign off, we have been doing that. We are doing the work in the community for the community. That's what we're about.
And that's the beauty of it.
And that's what it is. There's no more drama. We're taking the drama off the platform. We're bringing it back into the ring. Outside the ring, it's outside the ring. We're keeping it about the wrestlers, and it's only about the wrestlers. It's all wrestling matters. That's what we're about here. All wrestling matters here. We want to give people an opportunity. We want to be able to see the very best, be here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters. We're living up to that. We are doing the work. We are doing it, and we will continue to do it until I don't have a voice, which is almost about that point. So let's give you closing thoughts, because I don't have much of a voice left, and I think I've let you be here for almost 2 hours, and I think that you certainly have gotten enough, and I turn it over to you. I give you some closing thoughts, and anything else you want to plug, share, or say, I pass the baton to you.
I just want to say, you know, stay tuned for, you know, ALW. There's a lot more to be, you know, done in ALW. I mean, we're just getting started with ALW. And with Backyard Havoc, I mean, we're intertwining all these together, and that's literally the beauty of it. I mean, all wrestling does matter. That's what it is all about. That's what it's all about.
That's it. I could not agree more to that. That's what we were about. I will continue to use that. I am unabashedly proud to have backyard wrestlers here, underground wrestlers here, hardcore deathmatch. You wrestle on the ground, you wrestle on the trampoline, you wrestle no ring, no rope. You're going to come here to Sportswire, and you're going to be supported just as much as some pro wrestler, or indie wrestler, whoever else it may be. And that's why we want people to hit that sub button for our friends at ALW. That's their sub button. Go out there and support them. I can't stress that enough. And please support our friends like Holden Holloway. He is on Instagram. You can check him out, _hollowed_1_. Check him out there. I also, one more time, want to wish a very happy birthday to our friend Nolan Money McDermott. He is the STBW champion. He's got his own war, the backyard brawl with those guys in Wisconsin. I wish Nolan a very happy birthday. Thank you for your support, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you here later this week on Sportswire Radio. I also want to wish a happy birthday to the legendary Jacob Frost of BTW Wrestling, a man that wrestled Jack Delta once upon a time. He's become a favorite of this platform here over the past few months. Really excited to see what he does in the future. So happy birthday, Jacob Frost. Thank you for all you do for us. I look forward to seeing you back on Sportswire Radio. He is from the Midwest. He is from the state of Nebraska, and I hear he ain't too far from those guys in Iowa. So happy birthday. The best is yet to come for you, my friend. We'll see you soon. And before we go, final comments. Looking forward to the future of ALW and possibly facing you one-on-one, Mr. Holloway. Good night, ladies and gents. And boy, Judas, I told you these guys, they don't like each other. Good night, Kron. I'm surprised you're up so late. Isn't it like 5 hours past your bedtime? Ooh. Ooh, he's talking as if, like, let's say Mr. Kron was watching, like, Matlock or watching Jeopardy, and it was bedtime already. Boy, anyway, great job tonight, Holden Holloway. Let's change the future of BYW for the better. You better believe we are. Congratulations on all of your success. I'm looking forward to seeing you here very soon. We had a great response, a great turnout. I'm very excited about the future of the Backyard Circuit, and especially the Backyard Havoc to take place November 9th to November 10th in beautiful Bremen, Ohio, the same home of Summer Bash. And I can't wait to see you, my friend, anytime you want. So glad to have made it happen, and looking forward to also seeing you here in XCW, ALW stuff ahead as well. And keep up the good work, and can't wait to see you before November 9th to 10th in Bremen, Ohio, here on this platform.
Oh, I appreciate it. Really do.
You got it.
You for letting me on this platform.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. We let everybody come on here. We give everybody a chance, except a few minor exceptions. But that was Holden Holloway, the Hollow One. He is the only two-time ALW champion in the history of All Legendary Wrestling. You're going to see him coming up very soon on All Legendary Wrestling's YouTube page for their most recent show. It'll be coming out very soon. Go to the All Legendary Wrestling YouTube page for more details. You'll also see him in XCW soon, XCW Wrestling 1 on their YouTube channel. And you'll see him November 9th to 10th, now announced, against the matchmaker, JX, in a mental health match here, in a battle of Quiet Riot versus other song from Metal Health, Drive You Wild. So we'll bang your head to that. And well, my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively, literally, where all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, you're going back to your regular scheduled programming. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, and X, I'll be back here tomorrow twice, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. CJ Junt of Legendary Backyard Wrestling. And I'll be here also 9:30 p.m. with Chase Sullivan of the Underground Wrestling Alliance. But until then, thank you, everybody, for getting me to the road to 1,000 subscribers. And I'll be back here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters.